Fair Internet Coalition is dead, effectively. That's not the kind of update I want to give, but it's the state that we are in right now, and I want to give everyone some kind of closure or some kind of path forward of what our options are from here. So if you're not already aware, my name is Jacob. I am or was the Director of Technology, Deputy Director, whatever you want to call it, for the Fair Internet Coalition. And I worked with, for a couple of years, starting during COVID, a few volunteers here in the Long Island area of New York, trying to get some kind of grassroots movement started that would be positioned to take action against the big broadband monopolies, namely Optimum being one of them in this area, Altice USA. I think this organization started at a really interesting time during the pandemic, where a lot of people were at home on lockdown, and there was a lot of streaming was becoming popular, and reliance on internet working from home was very important. So I think that became a major focus during that time. But as society has kind of gotten back to normal, it's not that it hasn't been an issue, it's just become less of a focus, I think, for a lot of people. Society in general, I think, has started caring less and less about it. There is still efforts out there. I know a lot of people still don't like being in a monopoly, and I agree. But it just hasn't been enough to really sustain us at this point. Some updates from me. I may have mentioned this in a previous update, but I've moved. I used to live in Brookhaven, in Centereach, and then Port Jefferson, and all I had was Optimum, which is why I got really involved in this. But I've since moved to the town of Islip, and I have Verizon now. So it's not to say I don't still relate to the issues that face the monopolized areas. I'm very fortunate that I live in this area. A lot of people don't. Frankly, if there was a third option, I would still switch, but that's not the situation we're in. So what I'm trying to say is I want to apologize on behalf of everyone at Fair Internet Coalition. You know our director, Frank Cantor. I have not heard from him for a few months now. I hope he's doing really well. I enjoyed speaking with him. I think he may have had some family stuff going on. That's his business, but I hope he's doing all right. Kit Cowan, our treasurer, I've spoken to a couple of times over email. The last few Zoom meetings we had that were supposed to be board meetings ended up just being her and I catching up. The other members, I don't know what happened. I think just life, responsibilities got in the way, which is what happens with a lot of these things. But like I said, my thoughts on it have never changed. I still wholeheartedly believe in the mission of FIC and what it represents. And I have my own responsibilities now. You know, things sometimes take priority. And keeping a small nonprofit afloat is not something that I really have the time or the energy to do on my own. At the moment, I am the only one who has access to the social media accounts. I have, the X account, Facebook, Instagram. We have the website, and we have our Google Workspace thing. But I'm the only one who has access at the moment. We had filed the paperwork for the nonprofit that we had posted updates about, but I think we are officially registered if you go on the IRS website and look us up. But with no income and really no activities there's nothing to really validate it as a nonprofit. So I expect, I don't know, maybe a year or so it'll just kind of disappear, be dissolved. I don't have any really of the tax paperwork on hand, or much of it. Catherine was doing a lot of the treasury work. So what other updates can I give you? Oh, OCG. I know everyone is probably hoping for an update from OCG. I don't have one. Frankly, I'm just as frustrated as you are. I was 100% behind them, hoping that they were going to be the underdog, third provider option for Long Island. And I want to support small business wherever I can. I'd rather support them over Verizon or Optimum, frankly. But I haven't heard an update from him. I haven't heard from Brad, the CEO, in it feels like almost a year now. Brad, if you're watching this, no hard feelings. I'm sure getting a new business off the ground is hard work, and I know the powers that be are probably working strongly against any competition, which is expected. I think just communication could have been better, transparency, and I still hope that Brad, I still hope your company succeeds. If you're watching this, I want it to succeed, and I will switch if it becomes an option here. But it's been a couple years, and I haven't seen or heard any changes. The last thing I heard was kind of Brookhaven approving a business license, and that was it. So what's next? The way I see it, there are 3 options going forward for this organization. The first option, and this is the one I'd like to avoid if possible, is just dissolve the organization entirely. Close the accounts, delete any of the Facebook accounts, X accounts, and just let it die. I know that would be the quickest and the most straightforward option, but we did put a lot of work into it, and frankly we put a pretty decent amount of money into it with donations to keep it running. Robert Boyle, one of our members, has very graciously been maintaining the website, has been hosting it for us. I don't know how long that's going to last, but it's there, and so I thank Robert for that. One option that I considered, and I have been looking into, but it's been a little tricky, is finding another nonprofit organization to kind of absorb our assets, for us to merge with or take ownership of our organization. That's a little tricky. You have to find some other organization that is in that space that has an interest, or needs more members. I tried reaching out to Internet Society of New York. I know that's another one, but haven't really heard anything from them. So if you know of a nonprofit in the broadband connectivity digital divide space that would be willing to take ownership of our organization, you can let me know. That is certainly an option. The last option, and the one I kind of always hoped and dreamed would be the path forward, even before FairNet Coalition started disconnecting, was for our volunteers and members, anyone who's been following us over these years, to kind of let us pass the torch to you. I was always very happy to be involved, but growing the organization always relied on volunteers and people getting involved, wanting to pick up the torch and start a grassroots efforts in their neighborhood. Whether that's handing out flyers, just managing our social media, town meetings, civic associations, whatever it is. But that's what I would really like to see happen. If there is someone out there in our 3, 4, maybe 5,000 members at this point, or followers on social media that have been keeping up with us, is there someone out there who has a passion for creating options for consumers when it comes to broadband. You know, I still, like I said, I don't believe there should be a monopoly on broadband internet. Everyone should have the choice of more than one provider. And if someone out there is passionate enough about that mission and wants to make a change, we have the platform set up for you if you want to take the reins and, you know, forge your own path with it. I'd be happy to remain involved as a advisory role or just a technical support role. But I think there needs to be someone with the time and the energy to put into this. And I don't want to see it die. We put a lot of time and money into this. So if you're interested in doing something, in contacting me, or just want to ask me any questions, you're welcome to send me an email. I'll put my contact information in the description of this video. I wish I had a happier update for the organization, but this is probably the last time you're going to hear from me representing the organization for a while, if ever. So I want to thank everyone who followed us all these years and supported our mission, shared posts that we made. And I guess we'll just see what the next chapter is. Thanks, everyone.